Thanks for joining us live right now at 8 a.m. right here on WCNC Plus. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Lisa Washington. Tonight is night 2 of the NFL draft, and there are still some big names on the board. But we want to talk about night 1.
From an early trade between the Jaguars and Browns to the Panthers' number 8 pick, there were some stunners. Here to talk about all of it for us, WCNC Charlotte Sports Director Nick Carboni. Nick, thanks for waking up early. We appreciate it. By the way, shout out to Nick because he had a marathon night last night on WCNC.
A long night last night.
Like, provided coverage you can't get anywhere else. It was fantastic. That brings me to the first question, though. The Panthers draft pick. How would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
Well, everybody should go back and see my reaction because we were live, and I was truly shocked that they went with an offensive player. Everybody came into this draft thinking the Panthers were going to, continue to address the defense, but instead they pick Tetairoa McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I might have gone 8 out of 10, but I don't think the shock has worn off still. But this is clearly a guy that this franchise wants to bring in to help Bryce Young. He is the most important piece to all of this working out long term. So as much as their defense needed to be addressed this offseason, and they did a lot of work on that defense, spent a lot of money on the defense in free agency, helping Bryce Young is going to go a long way for this franchise. And McMillan, I mean, if he works out, he could be a dynamo in this division and this league. When teams are looking at draft prospects, a lot of it is projection, and what helps projection is, quite frankly, your athleticism and your size. And I don't think any of the defensive players that were still available at number 8 appealed to the Panthers in every single way and maybe checked all of those boxes. But an offensive player did, and that was Tetairoa McMillan. So he will be walking into Bank of America Stadium today, as surprised as many of us still are.
We've been reading that he likes to be called T-Mac, so we've been referring to him as such this morning. And again, as you said, a surprise by many people there. What do you think he will bring to this team? I know he's going to be the rookie, of course, coming in. What can he bring to this Panthers team?
Yeah, it was easy to shorten it to Tet for all of us, but we're going to have to lose that because T-Mac is in town today. So I think I mentioned just the size. He is a 6'4" receiver, and this is where football becomes simple to think about, right? If you are 6'4", and I'm not sure what his wingspan is, but they call it a catch radius. So if Bryce Young gets it anywhere near this guy up here, he can go out and pluck it out of the air. He's got great hands. Now, they did draft a receiver in the first round last year. Xavier Legette didn't have the best rookie season, but he still could improve. And what McMillan and Legette give Bryce Young and the Panthers are two guys that their natural ability is to go down the field and catch what they call, make what they call contested catches. So even if a defender is draped all over them, they're big enough, athletic enough, and have good enough hands to go get the ball anyway. So McMillan brings them that. He was one of the best receivers in college football for the last 2 years at what they call stretching the field. So making big plays down the field. From the Panthers offense the last handful of years, we've seen just, way too much, 5 yards, 4-yard passes, 6-yard passes. He is somebody that averaged, I think, 16 yards per reception last year in college. A first down is 10 yards. So if you're getting 16, you are on your way marching down the field to the end zone. The Panthers needed somebody to stretch the field, and Tetairoa McMillan could give them that.
So that was last night. What about tonight? What are you looking forward to the team doing tonight?
Yeah, well, looking at the available players tonight, Ben, there's a good chance Carolina can still address, some of its depth and talent issues on defense in round 2. There is a good collection of edge rushers, guys that get after the quarterback, available tonight, even some that I thought they could have picked at 8 last night. There are some safeties. They need a new safety. They could get one of them tonight, and defensive tackle, so interior defensive line. So they did spend all of their money in free agency on defense. The work there is not done. They just happen to like a receiver best at number 8, but make no mistake, General Manager Dan Morgan, who was a defensive star for Carolina, can't watch the defense he watched last year again this year. So I think it'll be defense. I really do think there's a good collection of players that will be available part of the Panthers wanted to potentially trade that 8th pick last night and move back a little bit. And what that would have done is probably had a team send them an earlier 2nd round pick tonight. Right now they pick 25th in the 2nd round. There's still a way they could move up in the 2nd round to pick a little bit earlier and get somebody they like. But as I said, looking at the list of available players, matching it up with the Panthers' needs, they may not have to. They could wait till towards the end of the 2nd round tonight. But, I think at some point they're going to make a trade up in the next couple of days. We'll see if it's tonight.
Certainly there were a lot of surprises last night in that first round, so we'll see what happens tonight. We should also talk about Jaylen Walker. Many thought the Panthers might have chosen Walker, but they did not. He is now heading to Atlanta.
Yeah, so that was one of the crazy things about, you talked about how long we were on last night on WCNC Plus and WFNY Plus in Greensboro. We had a live camera in Salisbury, North Carolina at the Country Club in Salisbury on Jaylen Walker and his family, and everything leading up to last night pointed to Jaylen Walker becoming a Carolina Panther. So when he and his family were on camera and we're watching the Panthers on the clock, what we're not seeing is him accepting a phone call and everybody celebrating. That's when we knew he was not going to be a Carolina Panther. And I know that was probably a disappointing moment for the family, but no doubt that Jaylen was going to go in the 1st round last night. And, I think he's going to be quite happy with where he is. If folks saw he wore a red and black suit and now he played at Georgia, and now he doesn't have to trade that suit in for a different color because he is going to the Atlanta Falcons. So that's the other interesting component of this, right, is didn't get picked by the Panthers, but now he's going to play for their rival, play against them twice a year, and he will play in Bank of America Stadium on Sundays just once a year, and I think he'll be pretty motivated. Also want to mention Charlotte native James Pierce Jr. also got picked by the Falcons last night, so you're going to have a couple of motivated Charlotte area guys playing the Panthers twice a year.
We noticed Jaylen's suit this morning.
We did.
And we're like, was that coincidental? Was that intentional?
Did he know? Yeah.
I was wondering, maybe I should have read into that later, but I do think he thought he was going to the Panthers just based on how everybody looked on camera on our live feed on WCNC Plus during that 8th pick. But, Danielle Stein did a wonderful story on the Walker family this week.
Yes.
It's on WCNC.com now. And, he's going to bring a lot, football-wise and just as a person to the Falcons.
In your mind, what was the biggest surprise of the night?
The Panthers pick was up there. I mean, that did send kind of like reverberations throughout the league. Like, whoa, the Panthers did what? I mean, everybody thought, when people talked about the Panthers in the draft, there wasn't like a lot of chatter about it, a lot of, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. No, they're going to pick Jaylen Walker, whoever the best defensive guy is. So that actually was a big stunner last night, but I don't think it trumps the biggest stunner, and you guys brought it up, and that was the Browns and Jaguars trade. So right off the bat, the Titans pick Cam Ward, the quarterback. We all knew that was going to happen. And then boom, we get this massive trade. And it's interesting, I'll have to informally poll some of my Cleveland Brown fan friends. I did ask Brad Panovich about it last night. He does like the pick and the deal for the Browns, but the Jaguars get Travis Hunter, this once in a generation player who wants to play offense and defense and just won the Heisman Trophy. So he goes to Jacksonville, who pays a king's ransom to move up and get him. And Jacksonville has an offensive-minded new head coach, so I'm excited to see what he wants to do with Travis Hunter as a wide receiver. He's the best receiver in the draft, but he's listed as a cornerback. He's a fascinating case, and we'll see what happens. And for the Browns, I think it was a kind of a pragmatic move. Hey, we don't need to go for the big splashy pick this year. We'll get Jacksonville's 5th pick this year and a first-round pick next year, among other things. And they picked Mason Graham, the defensive tackle from Michigan, which actually kind of signaled to us pretty early that the night may not go as the Panthers had planned, because I think they were hoping Graham was available, and they may have taken him at number 8.
Interesting. So some of these teams are really playing the long game.
Yep. Oh, yeah, especially Cleveland. And that may be the right play for Cleveland based on the last couple of years.
All right, Nick Carboni, join us live. I don't know where you're at, but I've heard a mix of Yanni, opera music, and now a kid in the background, showing that you're devoted to your profession no matter where you are. And we certainly appreciate it.
I'm not sure where that's coming from, but we'll get that ironed out.
You hear that too?
Oh, I thought I heard something. I wasn't sure exactly what it was, but you were so detailed. I was like, gosh, Ben is listening very closely. I do hear something. I heard something about, I thought it may have been a kid, but I wasn't sure.
And maybe a fountain in the background too. Nope. Maybe we're hearing things. Either one. Nick Carboni, thanks for waking up early with us. Thanks for your insight and expertise.